Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. We're going to have a video that's a little different than anything we've done to date with Mr. Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. A little sore.
Little sore. So, hey, I saw over the weekend that you did something that I've thought about, but actually never done. And that is you completed a marathon. So first off, congratulations. That's amazing. Again, it's something I've often thought about, never done. And I just want to talk about completing hard things, because that's not something you just wake up one day and go, hey, I'm going to run a marathon. You had to think about it. You had to plan it. You had to go for it. You had to struggle. I'm sure it wasn't a smooth event, because who could think running 26.2 miles is easy. So talk about it. Why'd you do that crazy thing?
Oh man, I think it's the constant need to grow and get better. And I think for me, like in this season of my life, my boys are 8 and 12. I'm trying to set good examples. And, one of the lessons that came out of this, and there's lots of lessons for me and the boys, my 12-year-old's into junior high. Junior high is a different level of, work ethic and whatnot needed than an elementary school. Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to teach him or prepare him that, when the test comes, you're going to perform based on how well you've prepared.
Right.
And I told him, even though this 26 miles was tough, the 18, the 12, all those mornings I woke up where I didn't feel like it and I ran, and I think I was 840 or 850 miles I ran January through the start of the race. That was why I finished the marathon. Right. I didn't finish the marathon because I had a good breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
Good, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tell my 12-year-old that, like, listen, you can't show up to the test and be like, I'm a great test taker, and expect to do well.
Yeah.
If you prepare and you study the 2 weeks prior and you've spent 7 hours on that subject or on that specific portion of math or whatever, you're going to do well. Mm-hmm. Right. And so, the marathon was an example of that, where, the more I prepare, the more work I put into setting up my business for success in 2022, the better I'm going to do. Right. And the funny part is, the better is not perfect. The 26 miles was a really nice 13, a mediocre 7, and then a treacherous final 6 where I was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for some of these hills, and my 41-year-old body is probably not the same as it was when I was 25, but made it to the finish line. And it's a cool thing to be a part of, because all shapes, all sizes, there's people out there that are blind, that are running with guides. There's people, me and my wife and I were talking about, as she watched people across the finish line, people are, tears, right? And every single one of them has a story, right? Yeah. They're running for one reason or another. They've overcome difficulty, or it's been something that,
yeah, you don't sign up for 26.2 miles unless you have a burning desire. Right. That's a 5, 6, 7 hour commitment for most of us. And again, like you said, it's an 8, 10, 12-month journey just to get your body even somewhat right, which you probably can never really be ready for everything. It's, again, doing hard things. I love doing hard things. I love preparing for things, because for me, it's sure there was a physical challenge. That last 6 miles, your muscles were fighting you. But for me, the mental challenge started the day you signed up, because I don't know about you, but self-doubt would jump in every once in a while, and not getting up on a rainy day or whatever. For me, it's the mental challenge that you've now overcome. And again, shown your boys and your wife that, doing hard things is okay. You can go after crazy goals.
Yeah. And it's possible. The funny part is some of this running I was doing, and then I did the marathon, people ask me if I'm a runner. No, I'm not a runner. I wasn't a runner before this year, and next year I'm not a runner. Right? I for whatever reason was thinking to myself, you know what? I'm going to set a goal to run a lot this year, and I started doing it. And then I told a few people I was going to sign up for a marathon, and then you just do it, you commit to it, and you stick to a plan. But I'm 215 pounds, and I'm 41 years old. Like, I'm not built like a runner.
That's not a runner's body.
Right. Yeah. And so it was just something that, like, with enough work and preparation, I knew I could complete, and I did. And like, there's a lot of good that comes out of that.
Yeah.
You know?
So how did you feel like when you crossed the finish line? You obviously, your wife, kids there to celebrate, which I saw was awesome. Was there like, I don't know, I'll call it a runner's high because I'm not even sure what else. Maybe it's an accomplishment. Did you just feel like, wow, it's like you just felt great? I have to imagine.
Yeah, I mean, especially, and it's funny too, like when you look back on things that you've done where there's been struggle, it makes it even better.
Yeah.
Right? Like I wouldn't go back and say, oh, I wish I didn't have cramps. I wish that, I wasn't in all the pain I was in, because it made that last 200 meters where I'm filled up with emotion. My wife's crying, and my boys are seeing me cross the finish line. Like that made it even better, not worse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was cool too, because like I talked about, this was, man, I don't know, in my app it says like how many hours. I had like 170 runs this year.
Wow. Okay.
So like hours and hours of running.
Just running.
And like I was trying to tell my boys, like this little 5-hour piece of it that was the marathon that everybody saw was like the easy part in some respects, right?
Exactly. It was the 170 runs that built up to this. That
right. Yeah.
When nobody's watching, there's no fans,
yeah.
There's no cheering.
And
you're alone.
Right. I'm not retired and have nothing going on, right? I'm building a huge mortgage business. I've got baseball practice and basketball practice and events and things to do with my lovely wife. And so when you look at your calendar and you're like, okay, on Sunday, we've got a birthday party and we've got this, I've got to run 18 miles. It's part of my training. You've got to wake up bright and early. And then you busted hump all week trying to build a mortgage business and you're tired. Sleeping in sounds really good.
Yeah, that
right?
warm bed sounds really good.
And then the alarm goes off at 6:45 and you're like, I got to go run for 3 hours and 15 minutes today.
Guess I got to go run.
18 miles. So yeah, I mean, that's where, when it's all said and done, you look back and you're proud of what you've done because you didn't press snooze. You did the work, right? And
awesome.
For you, do the work's a great mantra, because you sit back and you look at a portfolio of properties and you look at an investing career and you're just like, I took the time. And people see this great deal I purchased or that great deal I purchased, but they don't see the 90 hours of research that went into me knowing that zip code, knowing what numbers I wanted to look for in a duplex, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, do the work, reap the reward, and sit back and enjoy.
That's cool, man. Well, congratulations one more time. That's amazing. I may have to tackle that next year. But I'll be 50, so we'll have to see. So
I'm telling you, there was 80-year-olds running this thing, and it was, oh man, such a cool event. There's bands playing, there's stuff going on. 13,000 people at the California International Marathon, all shapes, all sizes, all ages. So don't let that little 50 number friggin' scare you. You still got it. I know you do CrossFit and stuff. I know you're fit.
Yeah, there you go.
Piece of cake.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, and again, if somebody wants to reach out, talk about mortgages, refi, purchase, investments, how do you want them to do it?
GreatMortgageBroker.com. We'll give you great mortgage advice. I'm probably not the best person to train you for a marathon, so don't go to GreatMortgageBroker.com for marathon training advice. But GreatMortgageBroker.com if you want some good mortgage advice.
There you go, buddy. Thanks again.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.